Girls Rock is a non-for-profit organization. We mentor girls 6th through 12th grade. Our goal is that we empower them basically from the inside out, dealing with that internal, the social emotional piece, so they can learn to support positive growth and change in our community. I'm excited. This is our first time Girls Rock going, partnering with Pastor Payton and coming to our church. We're looking to go over and do just exactly what we do here. We have a one-day conference scheduled on June 18th, where we will go in and do breakout sessions and workshops. We are looking to take caterpillars to butterflies with the young ladies over there. And so we have Tony Irby, who will be going over and doing some speaking and presenting with us, Sherry Fincher. Jessica Collins is a graduate student from Purdue University, and she will go over and do some sessions along with us, and I will do mom and mentor pieces. Our goal is to encourage, empower, and equip young ladies and moms to be able to deal with some of the social ills that are going on. You know, you think a different country, different things, but it's really not. We're learning that those girls struggle with self-esteem, social media, and all of those things, mom and daughter relationships. And so that's the mission. The mission is to go over there to encourage, empower, and equip them to be better.
I've been pastoring Coming to Our Community Church for about 21 years now. I came here when there was about 12 people. We were just a little north of this location, but I've been here 21 years, and the church has grown, and we thank God for all that He has done and is doing. Well, everything begins with the relationship, and Denita and I have known one another for a number of years. I've watched her continue to grow as a woman and as a powerful Christian woman in our community. And so when she started the Girls Rock program and has started ministering to a number of different girl groups around the city, the next step that I saw was her doing something internationally with us in Brazil particularly, because we've been to Brazil before, and I know the needs there in Brazil are the same. Brazil has the second largest population of people of color, black folks, outside of Africa. And so some of the same sociological and spiritual dynamics that are going on, family dynamics that are going on here in America, many of the girls there are experiencing those too. So I thought it was just a natural fit to go over and do something with the girls. We did something last year with boys, and so we wanted to do something with girls this year. I've been going to Brazil for over 16 years now. I went over because somebody wanted me to go. I did not want to go. And they said, okay, I want you to go. I think God wants to use you there, and I'm going to pay for you to go. I said, I'm going to Brazil. And Dr. Sullivan, who lived in Indianapolis at the time, was the gentleman that wanted me to go. I went and fell in love with the country. I always describe it as an experience like going to a family reunion. Everybody there reminded me of family, the food, the laughter, the joking. It's like that. And then when I got a better understanding of the history and, the African slaves and the Indians and the Portuguese all there together, it made sense. Well, there's several things that we want to do. One of the things that we're going to do is we want to expose the people that are going to the mission field. One of the things that the countries that I've been to, they always ask me, where are the black folks? Because they're used to Europeans going and being on mission trips. And so I believe that we hold the key, because there are no barriers when it comes to that. They don't have to, it's almost like automatically. They get to know us. We feel like family. So I want to expose a broader majority of African Americans to the mission field. That's the first goal. The second goal is I want us to be engaged in what it means to be a world citizen. There are a number of favelas, and favelas means slums, and where children are housed on a daily basis, and we think our kids here are doing bad. We haven't seen the world. They don't want a pair of Jordans. They want a slice of bread. And so our goal is to expose the group to that as well, to get an idea, a feeling, what it means to be a citizen of the world. The other part is what Denita does and does so well. We want to be able to minister to the young girls there and in Rio Bonito and the city of Rio de Janeiro as well, so that they understand that they don't have to do some of the things that they are doing in order to survive. And you can imagine what some of the young girls do here to survive when they don't feel like they have any other options. Well, imagine that in a third world country. Imagine that in a country where the options are even less than they have here. So I think Denita and her team is going to be tremendously used by God to say to those young ladies, there are options. God does love you. You do have potential. You can and are great. And I'm looking forward to the outcome of that as well. I believe in a continuum. I don't think that you just do something and hope it catches and you don't have a continuum by which the service is perpetuated. And so over the course of the 16 years that I've been going there, I have been blessed to develop a number of different relationships with different organizations. And one particular is Pastor Daniel Lincoln of First Baptist Church, Rio Bonito. His son also, who pastors at Rio de Janeiro. And then I have a number of people that are like family to me that are part of the translating team. But more to your point, Pastor Daniel and his church are intensely involved in the lives of young people there and people in general. So we're actually going to have the Girls Rock program at his church. It's going to be held at a wonderful facility they just built, seats about 1,500 easily, and pizza oven, restaurant, all of those things. And so Denita's going to do what she does there, and then they're going to follow up on the families there as well and add to that continuum what they do so well too.
I think for me with the girls, I know when I went before, the experience definitely changed me because what I assumed was poverty, we have no idea, and so for me, it gave me a broader perspective and it definitely helped my spirit of empathy because I think seeing what we sometimes take for granted, just simple day-to-day having food, water, those kind of things really help me come back to Fort Wayne and say, okay, the things that I think are really major are minimal. And how can I now take that minimal and really press and push? And so Girls Rock, that's a part of Girls Rock birth. I really believe that. When I went over, I remember the young lady, I don't know if you remember, when she was pregnant we were in the area where we were going and buying little things in
The hippie fair.
Yes.
The hippie fair.
And
yeah.
she was like 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm talking about full-blown pregnant.
Yeah.
And John Dorch and they had to finally tell John, put his wallet up because we continue to give money because there are kids out there begging because they need to eat. And we buying, stuff, to take back. So it definitely helps you put life into perspective. And I think for my Girls Rock team, that's needed because when we come back here, we're combating a war too here in Fort Wayne. But I think to see a greater war, you come back here and you say, we can do this. They're doing it at a grand scale with minimal. And we have major here a lot of time, great support systems, things that are going on. But to come back here and be able to still do it and have a better appreciation, I think. So I'd like a heart transplant for my team.
And for me, I mean, I don't see it that much different. Maybe worded differently, but it's the same thing. Behind the scene, we've been working. Our team has been working with the IPFW as well as Indiana Tech, and our goal is because at this present date, there are 38 Brazilian students on campus at Indiana Tech and a number on IPFW campus. As a matter of fact, one of the students at from IPFW will be doing the commencement speech at IPFW graduation this year. So we've been working to do several things, not only to take a group there and become this world citizen, if you would, but also to bring students here. And the goal is one day to have an exchange student program where some of our students will go and study something that, like we have a lot of students from Brazil that are coming here now, particularly Indiana Tech for engineering and various subjects at IPFW. But we want to be able to take some students from here there so that they can get an experience of a different culture as well. Let me give you an example. Last year we took some young men there, and one of the young men is getting his initial college experience here, and because he wants to be an architect. But his goal is to get that done and finish it in Brazil because he enjoyed so much there. And we have that relationship so that the students are coming here, we're going there. And I think Fort Wayne benefits from a multicultural, literally, context where the world is coming to us one way or another. They're going to come to our children via internet, or they're going to come physically, and both. We got to prepare our students in our community to welcome everybody, and that becomes and part of that is by understanding in the world in which we live in.
Well, for me, when I hear world citizens and I think of Girls Rock, I think for girls there's so many symbols, and they're so narrow. Beyonce is the world symbol for a lot of our kids here in America. But I think what I'd like our girls to get is to learn to create a hero for yourself that's tangible. Be able to see that there are heroes within your community that, you can touch and that will invest in you. Beyonce, you're investing in her. And you grow her bigger and greater. But I don't know if she's going to ever come to your community and benefit you. And so I'd like for the young people, the young lady that's going over with me, Jessica Collins, she's graduating this year. She did go to Brazil last year. So she loves the country once she's had the experience. She's going back now as a world changer because her experience there was so nice. She's headed to a master's program in Texas, but I think she eventually wants to do mission work. She's in school. She'll be getting a master's in social work. But really she's looking at a broader perspective of it and really wanting to take, once she's done, take people from here to be able to see the world. So when I look at world changer, that's what it means, because I think once they get the experience and exposure, they can then see past the four walls in which we live, which changes the rhythm of the heart. It creates champions within the heart, and they can go out and be game changers in the community.
What Denita is doing and exposing girls here in general to who they are, what they can become, is vitally important to us as a community. When you consider that the number one growing prison population, if you would, is women, and particularly young African American women, we have to do something. It's not one or the other. We got to have a dual approach, a multiplicity approach to helping our young girls become the women that God wants them to be. And I think that part of that is them understanding that Fort Wayne is not the limits, that there is a world here, and that you can engage and live as a world citizen and not just a citizen of Fort Wayne.
I'm excited to go and to give the experience to some other people. I'm praying that in years to come that this grows. I'd really like to take a lot more young people with us in years coming up, but financially it's a cost with it. And so I'd like to figure out a way that the city, community, we can see this as something that's imperative to their growth. I just had a conversation the other day with some people about kids from distressed backgrounds going to college and how parents don't get it. They didn't understand. And I said, but they lack the experience and exposure themselves. Yeah. And so to send their child to something that's bizarre and new, they'd rather just stay comfortable. Yeah. Even if comfort for us is, low income and it's comfortable. They know those systems. So I think we have to give them the experience and exposure early so that they can understand that I too can get on a plane and navigate.
And I would say, for me, and I'm just sitting up thinking as Denita was talking, from the first time that I went to Brazil, over 16 years ago, to the last time I went last year, I can honestly say that the majority of the audience, the congregation, have been teenagers. Even to this day, they are my Facebook friends. The communication that God has allowed me to have with them, I mean, it's just tremendous. I had a young lady, she was 9 when I first went. She came to the church, she accepted Christ, and asked me to go to her house and share Christ with her family the next day. The next day, I went to her house, and her family accepted Christ. That night, she brought her best friend, who she was growing up with at the time, to the church. He accepted Christ. Today, whenever I go, he runs my entire media over there. He takes a picture. They are married now. They're expecting their first child now. All of that happened after as a result of going over there 16 years ago. She's expecting her first child, and she called me, to let me know that they were expecting. And I think that's that feeling where you get, yes, I'm doing what God wants me to do in Jerusalem, Fort Wayne, but he also called me to the uttermost parts of the earth. And I got to do that too.